What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review. This is of The Testament, Season 1, Episode 8, Broken. All right? Now, since I'm in a good mood and I'm not feeling broken right now, what we're going to do is talk about our shout-outs. We had a few winners last week when we did the emoji vault. The answer to the question was, who said, I didn't want to be white. I wanted to be with you. That was Mary from Sinners. And the people that got it right, Anna, LA 2956. Let's clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Always a lady. 2217. Keep the clapping going, keep the clapping going. Chrissy D2. She on the roll. I think she done got every question this season. Cambrielle 8264. You a new name. I don't know you. Hey, welcome. 7 Arena. My girl. Mother of all dragons 7203. Didn't even know they was in the competition, but they got something out of the emoji vault, y'all. It's Shonda B36. You a new name for me too, boo. Hey, what's up, y'all? Big round of applause all the way around for all of our winners. They was able to get something out of the emoji vault. I'm not sure if the vault is open this week. It might be open. I don't know. I might open it today and then open it for the finale, but not next week. I'll let y'all know. What we gonna do now is open up this recap and review with a fantasy, a dreamlike sequence of Garth and Hannah, also known as Agnes, dancing around, doing their little swan dance, the dance that Garth wasn't even supposed to freaking know. They doing that doggone dance. And it quickly turns into a nightmare. Because the reality that Garth is going to marry her best friend Becka was real. It set in, okay? Paula had confirmed it for them. She had already got the tea. Now, Hannah didn't want to be mad at Becka because they didn't have a choice of who they were supposed to be marrying. Just as she didn't have a choice. And when she snapped back to reality, she was actually breaking dishes. And the symbolization of that was that she was breaking dishes to signify that the engagement had happened to Weston. That's who she was getting engaged to. So she was going to have to glue that plate back together before the wedding. That's now. Now I know it was supposed to symbolize the resurrection after destruction, but she get longer than 3 days to resurrect. Okay. For some reason, the girls brought all their plates to school. Why? You saw Ho Sheba with hers. Miriam had hers. I think Hulda had hers in the closet too. Becka had hers, and Agnes. Why they bring these plates to school with them? Because they didn't show them one time trying to glue these doggone plates back together. But Shu was excited to see all them. She walked up like, hey girl, hey, who you get? Right when she said it, Aunt Gabbana had a pointer stick, smacked you on the backside and said, hey, silence. I was like, what? Silence. No, you did not tell them to be quiet. No, you did not. Y'all ain't told these girls to be quiet one doggone time in 8 episodes. And now that they discussing their happy little marriages and everything, you want them to be quiet. You let Daisy and Talia lay up there on the doggone table. Not only talk about before, which is forbidden, which somebody said in the comment section last week, that it's forbidden. Y'all let them have a forbidden conversation. Not only did y'all let them have this conversation, the conversation included tattoos and booze. And you didn't tell them to be quiet then. And now you want her to be silent, girl? Bye. Girl, bye. Okay. Now Daisy, she was trying to still be on the buddy system with Agnes, but Vidalia was like, hold up. You ain't welcome in here. Daisy's like, why? Again, she didn't do nothing to smack. She smacked her with a pointer. Okay. For questioning her about why she can't come in. She gonna say something about, curiosity is of the devil's work. Girl. See, this show is so inconsistent. It don't know if it want to pull from the book or do something different. It doesn't make sense. You smack Shu on the ass for asking who you marry. And this girl just smart talked you, questioned you about why she can't go somewhere you just told her not to go. And that's all she get is a scripture. If you don't get the hell on, oh. Well, Shu was apparently not able to come in either because this was supposed to be a copulation class. And only the eligible girls The ones who got their cycle and copulate. Now I'm confused as hell. They've been in wife school forever. And you mean tell me sex ain't been discussed? That's what copulation is. Copulation, fornication, the horizontal tango, the bedroom boogie, all that. That's what that is. And these girls don't know about sex yet. What are they learning in wife school? That's all the wives are supposed to do. Is copulate. What you mean they don't know about sex yet? Child. Ooh. Agnes said last week that she wanted to get married and have babies. Where did this baby think babies came from? Nobody's told her. How did she think she was going to get pregnant? Now, she claimed that she's been waiting for this particular class all her life. All the girls have. All the girls have. They need to learn how to be with their husbands, especially on their wedding night. And I'm saying they need to learn how to be violated without resistance. That's exactly what they're going to be teaching them. But this class really wasn't about copulation at all, in my opinion. They drew a uterus up on the board with some fallopian tubes, like a ram. And then they told them that every girl has one, which is not true. Okay? And I'm not talking about trans women. I'm just talking about women who are assigned woman as at birth as their gender. All of them don't have uteruses. Okay? But anywho, yeah, she said that everybody had one, right? And if you was blessed from the Lord above, he's going to make sure that you get a baby just like Jesus. I guess that's where Agnes thought that the babies just appeared in the belly like Mary, that Jesus has had Mary and just boom, bam, oh, I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think she thinks was going to happen. So after they had that, she said that the husband is going to guide them. It's going to take them by the hand and guide them and tell them exactly what they need to do. In the lesson. In the lesson. Lesson over. Let's move on now. We finna move on. Turn your books to chapter 3, verse 7, paragraph 8. And what to do when you're expecting. Did y'all get that book? I got that book when I was pregnant. What to do when you're expecting. I said, what to do when you're expecting? Is that what it's called? What to expect when you're expecting. That was a book. It was a book that was wildly popular in the 90s. My baby was born late 90s. It was wildly popular in the 90s. Everybody and their mama got What to Expect When You Were Expecting book. They gave that to me at the fucking hospital. But I got another one doing my baby shower. I don't know what happened to it though. I might still own the book. Now think about it. All my books are still kind of boxed up from when I moved from St. Louis. Dang, where do I still got that book? Let me know if y'all got that book, if y'all ever had a baby or ever got pregnant. Y'all gifted What to Expect When You Were Expecting book. Put it down in the comment section for me. Okay, so anywho, we go and we are having ASMR of Daisy peeing. And my brain is like, why the fuck am I listening to this child pee? Why are we taking it into her private moment in the bathroom? And then I said to myself, oh, they finna make her have a period. And did. And exactly what they did. You know, I was like, she wearing all white. She gonna bleed through that dress. That's what she gonna do. Especially since she took her panties off to rinse them off in the sink. I don't know why she didn't grab some soap, because it was some hand soap right there on the counter, and try to wash them underwear out, but she didn't. And so she trying to rinse it out. Shoo walk in and catch her. And Shoo like, what you got over there? What's going on? Oh, no. I know you ain't had no period before me. Not no fucking Pearl girl, not you. You better tell the aunts. I'm not telling the aunts. You better tell the aunts. I'm not telling the aunts. You better tell them, girl, because this is your damn mission. This is not the mission of the Pearl girls. The Pearl girls are supposed to be aunts. They're not supposed to have babies. Okay? And first I was like, well, they going to pretend that this is the blood-soaked underwear and shoes, but no, then they have to certify her. They couldn't certify her, so no, they ain't going to do that. That probably just been nasty any doggone way. Oh, child. So the girls out of recess. And they playing sports, child. Sports. Croquet. Sports are forbidden for women in Gilead. Now, I know some of y'all finna say, but the daughters have special luxuries. No, they don't. all the women had their rights taken in the same fashion. Now, there are some people who violate that, the forbiddenness, like when Serena Joy was smoking a cigarette, when she was reading, when they was writing. Okay, that's when the aunts on this particular show smoking cigarettes. That is forbidden. They breaking laws, but it is forbidden. So having a whole fucking croquet game out here at school on recess is fucking forbidden. The only thing that wasn't forbidden, I think, was ballet and like racing horses or something like that, riding horses. Which is why Paula ride all the damn time. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead like I did last week when I said that Canada didn't have low birth rates and y'all told me I was wrong in the comment section, and I showed y'all proof in another video that I was not wrong. Canada did not have low birth rates. They were unaffected. There's a video out there. I'll tag it in here. What's this? 10:58. I'll tag it in this video at 10:58 so y'all can see that statement is incorrect when y'all made that statement telling me I was incorrect. But go ahead, play with me again. We'll figure out and find out about the doggone sports the women ain't supposed to be playing in Gilead. But anywho, like I said before, I go on that little rant. Whew. Hulda, she acting kind of off, you know. She been acting off all episode. She ain't been her like little bubbly self like she normally is. And Agnes pick up on that like, what's wrong, girl? She say, you know. So Agnes, hit the mallet and bounce the little ball over in the little trees for a little further away from everybody else, so she can have a little private moment. Hold her like, "What's up, girl? Spit the tea, okay?" And Agnes finally broke her down and Hold her say, "Hey, Becka, Daddy put his hands on me. Well, actually, he didn't put his hands on me. He grabbed my hand and put my hand on him. Had me rubbing all up in his rubber dub, okay?" And Agnes knew she wasn't lying, okay? Agnes's quick response, "You better tell somebody." And she was so adamant about it. "You better tell." And Hulda's like, "No, I'm not. You better tell. You better tell the aunts. You better tell somebody. That's not right. He ain't supposed to do that to you. Only your husband's supposed to do that to you." And she like, "I'm not saying nothing." Okay. And like, at that moment, I understood what Agnes was saying. Agnes had the tears in her eyes, and by her not actually knowing what happened to her, this is her opportunity to bring light to the problem by having Hulda expose it. So, and then right after I thought that, Agnes said it too. Like, I know y'all think I'm shit for pushing her, and I ain't said nothing. What is she gonna say? That she thought something happened? She could talk about the caress of the boob. She could have talked about that. So, there's that. But Hulda's like, "I'm not saying a doggone thing. You ain't finna mess up my doggone marriage." Okay. Agnes say, "Girl, I got your back. You go and tell them, and I will stand by you." Okay. Get off my door. It's my dog. Okay. So then we go back into the dream state. Okay. 16-year-old Agnes and 25-year-old Garth back to dancing again. And they really brainwashing the shit out of some of y'all fans who ship these two, who is excited at the possibility of Garth and Agnes. He's 25. She's 16. Okay? He's a grown man. She's a kidnapped child. Ain't nothing romantic and cute and shit about that. She's a fucking prisoner of this world. Okay? This time, the dream again turned into a doggone nightmare, but it was interrupted by Hulda's screams. She begging for help, begging Agnes for help. And Agnes turns to Garth to say, "I gotta help her." But it wasn't Garth. It was Dr. Grove, Becca's daddy, pulling her in closer to him, rubbing his body all up against her body in this sickening manner. And Hulda screams again, which causes Agnes to turn around. And then Hulda just angel falls right off the balcony, abruptly, snapping Agnes back to reality. But the reality is, Lydia is about to announce to the school what perverts they was able to match with these kids. Everybody's so excited, girl. Everybody but Becka and Agnes. Becca, because she knows the life that she doesn't want is about to begin. And Agnes, because she knows that the life she wants, Becca has. Okay, Miriam, the one that who Paula tripped, when they had the little tea party, she got Commander Lewis. Commander Lewis is over the colonies, but luckily he over the agriculture colonies and not the one with the toxic fumes and shit. But she looked shocked, like she didn't know that was gonna be her husband. Didn't y'all all just have the engagement ceremony the night before with y'all slavers? Y'all should know who y'all was gonna marry. Anyway, hold on for a second, this dog. All right, so what we didn't know though is that Becca didn't look up, okay? She actually got to choose Garth. Her daddy let her choose, which is surprising to me, okay? Agnes was hotter than fish grease, baby, okay? Y'all see how I switched back from Hannah to Agnes? She couldn't even look Becca in the face. Daisy's like, Garth? Garth who? Okay. Yeah. Agnes's guardian Garth. That's who we talking about. Yes, girl, one and the same. And Daisy looked at Agnes like, my bad, girl. I know you want him. I know you do. I like him too, for real. She didn't say all that. It's my words, not hers. But Becca was over there like, does Daisy always got to sit with us? Okay. Agnes gonna say, she my friend. She can sit with me. Okay. She just wanted to hurt Becca in that moment. And Becca, girl, this girl ain't been your friend since, second episode. For real. For real. Agnes is not your friend. I'm just letting you know that right now. So now they back at the house having tea and crumpets. And Weston done swung by for a little taste himself, right? This is sure different to when Nick married Eden. Okay. But it's kind of on the same path as when Serena Joy married Wharton. So while they sit there, they had a cake testing, and they supposed to be picking out flowers and everything. The invite to Becca's engagement party came through, right? Paula went to go get that from the front door. Paula's always answering the door. Why the Marthas ain't answering the door? Anyway, Weston had a chance to talk to Agnes, and they shoot the shit over what they thought about the wedding expectations, and he just want to make her happy, and he want her to have fun and something like that. And I think this is at the point that she realized she had a little bit of power. Paula was trying to convince her not to get the calla lilies, wanted her to get some other doggone flower that I can't think of the name of, something begin with an R. And she was like, no, how about you think it over? And Agnes say, I ain't got to think nothing over, Paula. Baby, when she called her Paula, her face just cracked. Her face cracked, right? And then Weston backed up like, yeah, my wife has spoken. Paula couldn't say shit. Now, if that had been Serena Joy, as soon as Weston left the building, she would have knocked Hannah into the next bedroom, child. That's what I'm saying. She gets to the school the next day and gets called into the vice principal office. When she walked in there sat Hulda. So Hulda done told child, and I was like, is she finna have her back? Is she gonna have her back? Or she finna do the June? She finna prove to us how much of June's child she really is. And what did she do? She did not fucking have Hulda's back, right? Vidala sat Agnes down and said, guess what? Everything that Hulda told you yesterday was just a figment of her imagination. Once again, running away with she. Just my imagination. Running away with she. Y'all let me know who sing that song. If you know who sing that song, I'm going to give y'all a surprise from the emoji vote. I ain't sure exactly what I'm going to give y'all yet. Maybe a retro CD, a retro boom box, something like that. If y'all could tell me who sung Just My Imagination. Running away with me. All right. Okay. So she basically told her it's her imagination. So everything we're talking about right here, right now, it ain't finna leave this room. Do you understand me? And Agnes says, yes, Aunt Vidala. She didn't back Hulda up. Not one bit. She didn't back her up, right? And Hulda's so doggone brainwashed. When they got outside, after Agnes went, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, after she did all that, Hulda apologizing to her. I was like, what the hell? Okay. This prompts Agnes to give her that June to Janine speech. You gotta think about the joy, think about the happiness, think about the fact that you're about to be married. Don't worry about nothing else. Okay. So while she trying to get Hulda to pull it together, Daisy is sitting there in embroidery class. Why is Daisy in embroidery class? Daisy is not a daughter. The Pearl girls don't go to those classes. Okay. But she's sitting there in an embroidery class and she done stole some girl's project and used it as a pad. Where you put it at? Because you didn't have no drawers. Did you stick it up in your VJJ? Because you ain't have no drawers. Where you put it at? Okay. And Shu confronts her about stealing it. But Daisy is like, why do you freaking care? It ain't like you gonna tell. Because if you do, you know you're gonna be the last girl standing with a burned wound. Okay. That hit Shu pretty hard. She's been a faithful soldier of this Gilead life, right? Her biggest fear is not being able to conceive a child because it would disappoint her mother, the kidnapper, right? Her brother, he was one of the 68 kids that was rescued on that spirit flight that y'all say it's called the Angel Flight. It is called the Angel Flight. And her mother has been depressed ever since, so she don't want to do her like that. She don't think she deserve it. So Daisy is feeling sorry for her. She decides that she's going to teach her the fundamentals of sex. This was the exchange, the payoff. And let me tell you, this whole scene bothered me to no end. True, Shu does not have a parental that's going to teach her how to have sex or to talk about sex. But this was not it either. Okay? It's more than just going through the motion. And in Shu's case, she won't even be going through the motions, okay? There's a mental aspect to having sex that must be addressed. The feelings that one may experience, whether it be pleasure or pain, that needs to be addressed, okay? The way Daisy was describing it took all the emotion out of the act and summed it up to just an act, for real. But this is a child teaching a child. Daisy basically described to her what a man goes through, which is not the same as what a girl will experience when they go through this process. She made it seem like as if sex is only what men do and women just happen to be there as a receptor of his juice. Okay, but again, this is a child teaching a child about sex. She didn't believe her anyway. Okay, she like, girl, you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. Now, if this is how you see sex, dear Daisy, I'm telling you, you don't need to be engaged in it at all. That sounds like a conversation of somebody who probably just had it for the first time and only had it once. And you seem like you and your boyfriend was breaking it down. Okay. Anywho, class is dismissed, right? They've been in there having this whole conversation forever. And ain't nobody came back in there and asked them why they ain't left this room. Ain't nobody questioned why they ain't at their next class. Ain't nobody questioned why they ain't out there on the recess field like everybody else. Nothing. It just blows my freaking mind. Even the engagement party blew my mind. Why was Pink Girls at this engagement party? Basically, Becka invited everybody in Gilead. Is that what happened? Okay, we get to see Garth's family. His mom and his dad is there. His dad is a paraplegic child. Apparently, he got injured leading the war on Boston. The war that just happened, mind you. Now, before y'all go rewriting history again, Garth's dad would no longer be a commander if he got injured, got ill, or got sick. He would lose that position. Fred did. When Fred was in the bombing, Fred wasn't a commander. They sent in Commander Cushion to take over for him. And June and Serena Joy didn't like that. That's when they teamed up and pretended they were Fred and started passing bills and writing up new laws and commands as Fred. Remember that? And they was planning on getting Commander Cushion arrested so they could get all the Guardians off the street. If you are injured while in Gilead and you were in a position of command, they remove you from that position. Now, I know y'all finna throw up Rose, Wharton's daughter. Rose was not in a position of authority. She was the commander's daughter. However, she still was an exception to their rule because all the disabled people had been purged. That's why Commander Lawrence hid the fact that his wife had a mental illness. Now, they would maim your ass. They would remove an eye. They would take off a finger. They would sew your lips together shut. But if you was already disabled when Gilead took over, you was purged. Rose didn't get purged, though, because they feared Commander Wharton. She was like the anomaly that everybody talked about. But they stated that if you got hurt post-Gilead, once Gilead began, and you got hurt in the process, not punished, you got hurt, like in an act of war or something like that, you lost command if you was in a position of authority. Because you was no longer pure. And by him being a paraplegic, he most likely is not still having sex. I know paraplegics can. I know some people that do. But in most cases, they would consider you to be a reproductive hazard. He wouldn't still be a commander. Now, did they say? I remember when y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all let me know this in the comment section. When they were riding in the car and Commander McKenzie was congratulating Garth on getting promoted, did he say that his dad used to be a commander? That part I don't remember. But if he did say that, he still wouldn't be in black and his wife wouldn't be in that greenish blue, that teal. They would actually be eco people at this particular time. But anywho, okay, let me not get too far off track. Speaking of removed, they kind of removed Commander McKenzie's backstory as well, his history. He has pretty much taken on the role that Tabitha would have had. He's really compassionate. He's really caring. He thinks the whole idea of them being with these young girls is wrong. But science has shown that this is the only way for them to do this. This is the only way to fix these low birth rates. And I paused for a minute because I was like, science? Don't you mean God? Because Gilead is supposed to be following the law of God, not being led by science, but okay. Well, Agnes asked him, well, are you happy, Pappy? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, only if you are, sweetheart. Only if you are. He tells Agnes that Weston is the right one for her. That's the right pick for her. And his wife, Paula, she's so happy that they get to plan this doggone wedding, right? She even trying to secure them a handmaid. And I was like, is she trying to secure them a handmaid? Now, in the book, like I said, she did have a handmaid because she wanted a kid because she hated Agnes so much. That's why she wanted a handmaid. But to insist they have a handmaid now after Agnes leaves the house is different. That's all I'm going to say. It's different. Because Agnes did want a child of her own. Anywho, not Agnes, Paula wanted a child of her own. Anywho, Agnes and Daisy, they go over and they congratulate Rose and Nick. They congratulate Garth and Becka. I said Rose and Nick. His dad, I think he had like a trimmer or something, and he knocked over a glass. Garth's mother tells Garth, take him outside. He needs some fresh air. Daisy volunteers to help. I thought she was going to volunteer to help to pick up the doggone glass that just broken. But no, she volunteered to go outside. I don't even know where she got the new glass of water from, but she went outside and she helped him sip on some water. You know what I'm saying? And then they decided to have a conversation. Garth said he can't understand nothing. He definitely will not still be a commander if he don't even have comprehension at this particular time. And he wasn't injured. He was poisoned when he led the attack on Boston. Okay? So, yeah, he definitely would not be a commander still. But Garth goes on to tell Daisy, hey, my daddy was a good man. You know, and he just fought for the wrong side. And I said, I'll be damned, MAGA. That's not what we're going to say. That's not what y'all finna try to teach us. That he a good man. He just on the wrong side. That's what the government trying to make us believe right now. That there's good men out there that's helping them oppress us. Fuck out of here. Miss me with that shit. Okay. All in that. That's a MAGA talking point right there. Anyone willing to oppress other people, not good at all for me. Okay. Not my eyes. So, like I said, he led the fight against Boston. He led the fight against Boston. What makes him a good man? Oh, anywho, Daisy switches subjects just like I just did. And she asking No, how you finna get out of this wedding? He said, what you mean get out of this wedding? I ain't trying to get out of this wedding. And she's like, he said, but you don't, Daisy said, but you don't love her. He said, what love got to do with it? Love ain't got a dang on thing to do. I didn't expect to be in love. That's not how I roll. Like I said, Garth is raised there in Gilead. Okay? So he don't expect nothing else but to follow the ways of Gilead. What else you got? Because I know you had to bring me out here for something else. So she goes on to tell me, look, I got my period. He said, well, praise be. She's like, no, what the fuck you mean, praise be? I got my period, which means I'm in danger. Okay? I'm in danger. You need to give me some pads or some tampons or something. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck those are. I'm like, bruh, how you don't know? You're 25. You was raised in Gilead, but that means that you were 10 when Gilead started. You know what a fucking tampon or a pad is. But he claimed he don't know what a tampon or a pad is. You a fucking guardian. The women have menstrual cycles. Tabitha had made a whole little thing for when Agnes finally got hers. You know what a fucking tampon or a pad is. Don't play these fucking games with me. Don't play these fucking games with me. Okay? Cannot make me believe that a guardian don't know what a damn pad is. Anyway, she tells him, look her, get me out of here. I want to leave. I am done. He says there is no done. Okay. So you trying to tell me that this child is a hostage of Mayday. That's what you're trying to tell me. She's a hostage of Mayday, who's not only a hostage of Mayday, she's a hostage that's trapped in Gilead. The place that they claim to want to bring her back to because they were after her. Was it Polita? Who said that? Who said it? I think I put my... Yes, it was. Polita Olden, 8214, said it clearly. She asked, why do they not know who Daisy is? If they're trying to sell us this story that Daisy was the child of I said, who else finna say? Moses. She was Moses. You know, y'all told me the Bible story about the Moses thing. I appreciate y'all. If she's supposed to be Moses and she was the child that was saved by this family and she grew up with them, according to them, they knew where to find this family, but they didn't know what the fuck she looked like. And you take this child who is wanted by Gilead and put her in Gilead as a spy. And now you're telling this child, this 15-year-old child, that she can't go home Because you said you wanted to do this, so you got to stick to it. She's a fucking child, 25-year-old Garth. Oh, oh. Where was I at in my notes? Let me get back down here to my notes, y'all. Get back down here. I might be all over the place. I might be repeating myself and all kind of stuff here. She said, we done. And he's like, no, ain't no done. You got to stay here. He says that she said she wants June. She asked for June again. They have to keep throwing June's name in the show periodically because Elizabeth Moss is a little bit of a narcissist, and she likes to hear that character be brought back up. They want you to always remember June. Anywho, we already got like Daisy pie face ass in the camera like June was. They always zoom in on her ass and shit like that. Anyway, yeah. That's all I know. He said that's all he knows is that he wants to destroy Gilead. Why do you want to destroy Gilead? Somebody has to make me understand why Garth, who grew up in Gilead as the commander's son, who thinks his father is a good man, wants to destroy Gilead. This version of Gilead that we're being presented in the Testaments is so far removed from the Gilead that we knew of in The Handmaid's Tale. The Gilead here in D.C. is so far removed from the Gilead in D.C. that we witnessed that had girls' mouths showing certain shit like that. So far removed. What are you fighting against? What is your outrage, dear Garth? That you want to destroy them. I don't understand. What is it that you have been able to witness or you have been able to learn to know and understand that this place ain't what it's made out to be? I don't understand, Garth. I don't even think Garth know what he's fighting for. But speaking of fighting, now Lydia's finna fight for Talia. She comes in and questions Weston like, hey, where's Talia, the girl you took away? You know, she feel responsible for her. She's her aunt. And Weston say, you only supposed to be responsible to God and this government. Go find you some business because it ain't over here. Okay? And then every time I look at Weston, I have to keep in mind that he was not in the book at all. This is a completely new character. And he's taken on the persona that they actually gave Judd in the book. And then on top of it, Judd, did y'all realize Judd's name in the book was Fred? But here on the TV show, his name is Michael. Why didn't you make that change too? Yeah, and then we always talk about, you know, they had to make some type of adaptations for the book so it could flow more easily. Why did you change it from Fred Judd to Michael? Anywho, child. In the meantime, Becca's dad come up to the girls under his eye, praise be, glory to God in the highest and all that jazz. And I was thinking, no prick under your hands, because that's what you had, your hands all over Hulda. And unfortunately, they will be again soon. He reminds them. They both have follow-up appointments, Hulda and Agnes. Agnes knows she needs some air, so she dashes outside and she runs into Aunt Lydia. And she sits down and tells her, look her, all that Hulda told y'all, she wasn't lying. And she indicates, I know because I know. And Aunt Lydia picked up on it real quick, but then she says, her girl, trust in the Lord. Lean not into your own understanding. That ain't her words, it's mine. I know it's somewhere in the scripture, or somebody said that somewhere, maybe it was in a song, but I remember somebody saying that. In other words, get back must be had. He will reap what he sows. But Agnes didn't hear that. She didn't understand that Aunt Lydia plans to get this motherfucker back and to pay him back in his own way. So she upset, and Daisy comes out there and she confides in Daisy what happened. And Daisy's like, tell Aunt Lydia, you need to tell. I did tell her. She said she wasn't going to do nothing. So Daisy's like, oh, okay, bet. I got you. That pissed Daisy off. Now Daisy's going to handle him. From the narration that we got from Agnes, we can expect that Daisy's going to be the one that's going to do the reaping. Okay. So that is how the episode ended. I usually do this and I try to figure out why the titles are what they are. And this one is called Broken. We got Hulda. She was broken because she was molested. Agnes was broken because her bestie chose her man. Shushu was broken because she ain't got her period yet and everybody else is getting it. Daisy was broken because she started her period and Garth told her that he ain't gonna help her get out of there. Garth's dad, he was basically broken. You know, his dad broke a glass. They broke a plate. Remember that? Paula's face was broken when Agnes called her Paula. What else did we miss that was broken? Y'all put it down in the comment section, okay? Besides my voice, because my voice was broken when I sung that Temptation song. Well, outside, is that all we got for this one? All the broken ones? Like I said, I think I'm all over the place. I'm probably repeating myself. I feel like I repeated myself when I talked about Hulda and jumping. I don't know why I feel like I repeated myself. Maybe I had the same thought for both scenes or scenarios. We never know, child. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Leave comments down in the comment section. If you can go to the video with 1058 and see the one I left last week about Canada and the birth rates. And what else gonna happen here? Hit the hype button for me. I appreciate all of you have been hyping it up. Basically, that's some type of thing that YouTube is doing to rank smaller channels to help them get more visibly seen or something like that. I think that's what the purpose is. Because I've been on some larger channels that said I could hype. Or what I consider as a larger channel. Anyway, child, thank you again. Peace.